a strong and mighty Indian team absolutely decimates a hapless, helpless, very weak West Indies in the first test in Dominica. India win by a huge margin, an innings and 141 runs. Ashwin gets a 12-fer, 5-fer in the first innings, 7-fer in the second innings. Yashasvi Jaiswal got a wonderful 100, in fact a big 100 of 171 in his debut match. Rohit Sharma gets his 10th 100. Virat Kohli, the King Kohli, fights his way to a 76. Everything put together, India has a huge win, a huge away win. Still, this is not a win that is to be celebrated. Don't forget that it was this same Indian team that failed miserably in the WTC final in England hardly a month ago. And that Indian team is now showing its might on a very, very poor West Indian side. This is not to be celebrated, but it is for the Indians. This is the time for Indians. A so-called think tank, if they ever have. Do they think? I don't know. If they ever can think, this is the time for them to think. Of course, I'm happy that they were ready to give chances to youngsters like Yashasvi Jaiswal and Ishan Kishan in the team. That is a positive sign. That is the kind of thinking that we expect the think tank to do and give the youngsters chances. But more important than that, they are just youngsters. It is very important that we gave chance in our batting lineup. We had 3 left-handers. Yashasvi Jaiswal in the opening, Ravindra Jadeja at 6 and Ishan Kishan at 7. In the future, this is one important aspect Indian cricket should be thinking. We need enough left-handers and right-handers in both batting lineup, and even when it comes to bowling, we need variety. Talking about Indian Test cricket's future, we need to think very deep on how are we going to manage our future stars, especially the ones that I just mentioned, Yashasvi Jaiswal and Ishan Kishan. Coming to the bowling department, Mohammad Siraj. And what happens when Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant, as and when they come back? What is going to happen to them? Are we going to make them play all 3 formats? Are we going to make the same mistakes that we did again? With the kind of resources and the money Indian cricket has, of course we can have 3 totally different teams for 3 different formats: T20, One Day Internationals and Test cricket. But if the Indian cricket think it is slightly, impossible or slightly difficult to manage, that is fine. We should think from their point of view as well. But still, I believe no player should play more than 2 formats. And let the players themselves decide what format will they be comfortable in. A player can choose to play both one days and T20s like Hardik Pandya is doing now. I was in fact happy when Hardik Pandya refused to play the test matches. I believe that is the way forward. That is how you manage yourself, and that is how you manage as a team. That is how you manage your players in the future. Let them play 2 formats. So when the team is playing the format that a player is not playing, by default he is getting his rest, which is an excellent thing. With the kind of tight schedule the international cricket players have these days, it is very important that we have to manage our players. So let the players choose whatever format they are comfortable with. Of course, with an input from the management. Management should also feel that this player is right for this format or may not be very correct for this format. So let the players choose any 2 formats and let them focus on that. And let the others play the other formats. In that way, we can make sure that the players are ready and fresh for every match they are playing. Like I mentioned earlier, in all 3 formats, we should have enough left-handed batsmen, enough right-handed batsmen, enough bowlers, right arm seam bowlers, left arm seam bowlers, off spinners, leg spinners, or a bowler or spinner that takes the ball away from the right-hander, and a bowler that takes the ball away from the left-hander. It is very, very important that Indian cricket is very aware of all this. Otherwise, the Indian cricket's future is not safe. Thank you. Don't forget to follow Indian Cricket Analyst in YouTube. Thank you, guys.